CT in the game we watched at least yesterday. Also got 9 rounds when they played CT against Honores in that matchup also. AVEZ not seen too much of what they've really got to offer us on Vertigo. They've played it 1 or 2 times. It's not been one of their more common maps, you could say. 4 wins, 3 losses in the past 3 months. 4 major tournaments. And that, for me, certainly gives Endpoint a lot more of a motivational boost, a mental edge. AVEZ, they do win 9th round, and for me, they might want to offer their support by starting off CT side.
Endpoint then, starting off on this T side, that could be dangerous for them, considering they had an opportunity realistically to close out that map of Overpass. They had an opportunity to shut this series down 2-0. They floundered at the end, and now if they start on their more difficult side of the map and they struggle to get anything going, this could be AVEZ shutting them out of things in the decider. As we head into the pistol, it's going to be pivotal for both sides, but Endpoint realistically, due to how much they struggle on this T side normally, you're really hoping for them to get the pistol, or at least they're hoping to get the pistol for the sake of their own T side.
Robin and Cyril a little bit late to buying out the utility, but they still have utility anyway. There's going to be Max for now, just looking for this initial advantage as Endpoint look to set up what could be a play over towards the B side. Thomas for now will back off. In fact, Endpoint for now look to change your intentions and look to see what the A ramp side of things has to offer. We Kai, the first point of contact. Now jumping. Or what his teammate does. Have a flash and a kit left.
Endpoint, they had an opportunity to overwhelm the B bomb site. There was 1 defender, but because they couldn't find the early kill, they just backed straight off of there. And now they're going to push into an A bomb site that has 3 people stacked up with 2 up on the boost. The high ground could be utilized to devastating effect here by AVEZ, but the smoke's down to make room for the plant. Kai can see over them though. He can't convert any shots, unfortunately. Runs out of ammo in the pistol, and crucial, he's going to put the bomb down on the A site.
Well, advantage Endpoint momentarily. As we said, they've got a kit to work with on the retake, but the utility at this point is just low, and it means they've got to go for a lot more dry peaks, which can be so dangerous. Robin looks to set off the flash from behind. Kyler is really looking to do lots of the heavy lifting, and Thomas could get a couple of them. In fact, him and Crucial find 2 quick kills. Bialy trades out, and Crucial is so crucial to maybe Endpoint getting another kill, which helps secure another round. For now, Bialy steps up strong. Just have to find Max. They've got a kit to work with. The Glock fam, it works. Oh, it works for both of them. It's Max and Endpoint kicking off with pistol.
Just about the captain, Mighty Max, bailing Endpoint out of that pistol. They'll have the weaponry advantage now in the round, but AVEZ, they want to go for the force here. They're confident after that pistol that they can keep this close, and he switches to burst fire and then switches back immediately, decides that's a terrible idea. And thank the Lord he does, because he converts 2 nice headshots for him and the round for Endpoint. But this buy for AVEZ, still dangerous.
Oscar level play. Well, they were hoping that someone was going to go up close for a sneaky little peek. Kyler went for the safe angle at first, but a repeat for now establishes that no one has pushed up towards B stairs for Endpoint just yet. The Deagle look to try and cement at least some damage, if not a headshot. Molotov lands at the back of sight. There's one angle. The Deagle now reigns potential terror damage, but it's AVEZ forced into this B retake.
5 alive. That's the silver lining. Actually, the silver lining is that the bomb hasn't even been planted yet, and because of that, Endpoint bail out once again. They don't get into the B bomb side, and this is a bit of a unique adaptation. Like, that's a unique second kill for Thomas to find. He's just decimating with the UMP. Bonus cash farmed from his perspective, but I kind of like this from Endpoint. Before we saw them, they were struggling in the B site. Now, if it looks like it's difficult for them to get in, they just back off and run straight to A.
They're just looking to save the armor, really. Not too much you can do with the Deagle and MP9. Well, it's certainly a winnable scenario, but it's not one that Endpoint should give up too easily. So, 2-0 start, and they avoid the stack. Won't come off better in 2 early rounds. The economy for AVEZ isn't going to at least allow a full buyout, but expect the force. They certainly could go for it. Not something they should be going for, but they come out with dollars.
I think they just go for the hard eco here. Can't just keep forcing at the start of the half. A nightmarish decision to make. Thomas, he gets 2 kills there. It's insane. Following those up. Just doing the work on the B bomb site. Why not? Triple kill in the round. And here we are. The odds actually heavily favoring AVEZ apparently here. Perhaps the graphic might be the wrong way around with Endpoint on the 2-0 up on the right side. I'd be very surprised if those odds from our partners over at LootBet are for the correct teams there. If they are, I severely disagree with the 3.0 odds to Endpoint here.
Well, Surreal does do the spam, and combined with Thomas, they find that initial kill over towards the site of B. Surreal doubles up. Both B defense more or less dead, but because of the site towards window, it meant that AVEZ do have a couple of players really here who could still make an impact. The MP9 in first up gets one. I was about to say gets both of them, but 3 HP, Thomas is just so lucky to survive. It's an Eagle now, maybe looking for 1 or 2 frags. Eagle in your face isn't what you want to work with, and I don't think you want to die to a Mac 10, but that's how Robin finds the kill.
3 rounds for Endpoint on the board. Full buy for AVEZ coming up in round 4. Endpoint, they're going to keep the Mac 10 on Robin to farm up that bonus cash a little bit. The minor gamble, but the real gamble is actually these Galils. All 3 players on Galils instead of AKs. And yes, it's an expensive investment for all of them to upgrade, but there's actually only 1 player without head armor. And there we are. The odds were 3.15 for AVEZ over from LootBet. That one making much more sense to me here.
I did just check it out, yeah. Endpoint this side favoured at least by our betting partners. Robin, open things up strong. A Mac 10 still allowed to find entry kills somehow, even in this matter, so that's just how we live, and that's so... Well, it's unnecessary. It does clear the angles, I guess. So
works. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the old adage. Thomas, he has an AWP, and so does Crucial, which is now in Norut's hands. And this is a pretty good savable scenario now for AVEZ. Kai on the M4, Norut on an AWP. That can be utilised perhaps towards ramp in the next round. Try and find some early kills around. Maybe a minor pistol investment from AVEZ. Either way, it's the lost gun round from them here. Kai spotted out and taken out. Norut, they might still be hunting for him.
How you go for the save of your Norut? You can't be hunting with this AWP. Can't be liable to find 4 kills that quick. AWP gets recovered by Surreal. Endpoint 4-0 up. Start this one off quite strong on a side of the half which we always felt was their weaker side. They struggled in some of their games earlier on, and you can also put that down to the idea that AVEZ haven't had too much money to play with early on. Be on the eco this round. Couple of upgrades on the pistols, but not too much really going forward. The Max and Surreal, the first points of contact.
Norut on the D. Quite close, and I don't think the Endpoint player spotted him on the way past. He's found Thomas, and in the smoke, he's covered an AK as well. Trying to get out, but Mighty Max awaits him on the other side. No escape for Norut. 4-on-4 situation as these Deagles and body armor. Hope that ever so briefly those heads pop into the crosshairs, and then that capitalization can be had. Kai turns away from the flash, goes aggressive. There goes Crucial. Adjusts onto Mighty Max, but he converts the kill through the wall in the end. Up on the floor. And they're a bit scared to back away from this Endpoint because of the weapons that are in front, but Surreal has aggressive positioning towards B. If he pushed up, he'd find that that site was empty, but obviously he doesn't know that, and he doesn't want to leave himself isolated.
Now they've got, or now AVEZ have a player at least somewhat aggressive down towards A. They'll start to learn that the B site is going to be at least lost temporarily. Endpoint all group up together. AVEZ, the same thing, but they do have an AWP on that CT side. That could be the difference maker. Realistically, it shouldn't be one that AVEZ come off better in. But now they've picked up these weapons, it certainly becomes scary. There's armor on them as well, so it could still get dangerous if you're an Endpoint fan at this point.
Especially with Marcos on the AWP. You know the work this guy can do. He can take over rounds on his own. First kill found. Hunting now for more. Surreal, he goes down as well. All of a sudden, Endpoint in trouble. The force by Mighty Max can't even stay alive. No kits available, but there should still be enough time for the defuse. AVEZ, the 3 rotating Deagles, get it done on the B site. They pick up the weapons.
One word, I didn't think that was going to happen. Credit to AVEZ for making that work out. That's 2 AKs, that's an AWP, that's a really solid buy you've got to work with coming into round number 5, or sorry, round number 6, and you just have to invest some little utility levels, and even if you lose this, your money's still going to be really good. Endpoint, they're certainly going to be threatened for a couple of rounds going forward now.
They certainly are.
It's still AKs and AWPs, at least from the Endpoint perspective also. Crucial. Doesn't want to contest too far in towards middle. In fact, playing it safe, again, AVEZ go aggressive deep towards beam.
Hunting for kills through smoke. Yet again, but this time none afforded. Mid presence is what Endpoint desire in this round. Bialy and Marcos desire the exact opposite of Endpoint's mid control. Crucial doesn't care what AVEZ want them, and Bialy, he doesn't give anything towards Endpoint. Eventually he yields his ground, but it's the 2-on-2 as Norik finds Mighty Max over towards the A bomb site. Kyler opens up onto Surreal, and this is more like the T side of Vertigo that we've seen previously for Endpoint. A little bit of isolation, getting picked off one by one, and struggling to make it into any regions of the map. Yes, they earned mid control, but it all fell apart after that.
Well, the advantage for Robin is the A site's open and available for a bomb plant. That's on his back. Can't quite count this individual out of the round just yet. Step 1 complete. The last step is to just hold on to the site, ensure that AVEZ don't even get a say. The smoke at the first point. Block off some of the site. A flash awesome. Molotov and a nade is his last set of utility, and that could be big. They're going to try and stick it to Molotov. Oh, it's going to be ignited and denied by the smoke, and there's the peak. Kyler comes off better. Norik was just holding the bomb. If there wasn't a smoke, the Molotov would have worked out. Fortunately, it's not a winning scenario. It's another one for AVEZ. Great peek from middle was there, but unfortunately they couldn't close it out, and it's just one-on-one Angels, which you can't be giving up.
Quite confused as to why he threw the Molotov there. The smoke was already down. Quite clear it wasn't going to work, and then his position's given away. Either way, it's in the past now for Endpoint. They're looking ahead to the full gun round in this one. AVEZ looking like they're coming straight back into this map of Vertigo in similar fashion to the way they did on Overpass. Kai can't get Mighty Max. The Galil reigns supreme in this round. Early advantage afforded to Endpoint, but map control is always the issue for them here.
Well, let's see if they can build a potential 2-man advantage. That would help Endpoint. For now, all splitting up. Really, a lot of focus goes towards the A ramp yet again, and the advantage for them is AVEZ don't have an AWP posted up close. There is still an AWP available, which could be lurking over towards middle. In fact, Norik on site does come off better against Mighty Max. An AK, an AK, and an M4 in mid. That can't be one that's real. Loses that easily. Fortunately, he does. Oh, the AWP just spots someone out. Crucial AWP in. Has to hit something. They don't find anything that could be another round lost. It's awkward. And 4 defenders all now stack the A site.
Endpoint's T side at the moment appears to just be taking individual aim fights. I don't know why Mighty Max ran out of the ramp on his own in front. completely isolated, fell down. A Molotov in the site is going to deny the plant. They're probably going to flash through the smoke for the push as well. Crucial completely blind, but the bomb has at least gone down now for Endpoint. They now have the job of defending it against all four these Polish CTs. That's the first found by Thomas. Crucial opens up onto the second. Thomas gets the third, and Kyler, with one, would need two more, and Crucial puts a stop to it. Finally, Endpoint, they stabilize a little bit. They win the gun round, but they haven't broken AVEZ's economy just yet.
No, the CT side will certainly have weapons to work with. They can get an AWP out, or Kyler can at least drop it over to Marco if they want to go for it. But in fact, they're playing the safer option. They're going for just the eco, or going for the pistol half by, which you fully respect. Now Endpoint have to be fully aware of what could happen if they lose these pistols again. Not only would their money be somewhat affected, they might be allowing AVEZ a chance to get back into this. Up close, well, Thomas wins that. Oh, doesn't find anything.
Oh, Mighty Max has crept through that smoke and dealt with Kai. The A site almost under AVEZ control, but Bialy is taken down by Thomas now. That means that Endpoint are going to be able to storm in and get that plant guaranteed. Surreal expects the flank, and he looks like he expects the second. Turns around at the wrong moment, though, to get a better angle, perhaps, and then finds Kyler. Endpoint keep picking up the rounds now. They don't fall foul to the pistols, but the fall by from AVEZ is coming straight back through.
Balls, yeah. They've got to work out what they've got to do. Endpoint now getting a bit confident. AVEZ, this would be a great time to stop any confidence that Endpoint are now trying to build up and work out economically. Crucial's got 5k, so if he dies with the AWP, he can repurchase it up in the follow-up. From an Endpoint economic point of view, they seem to be in control. AVEZ back on the 4M4s and the early AWP encounter. And to me, they don't have to regress too far towards B, because that feels like it's been quite costly for them. They've lost a few players thereabouts, more or less at every round when Endpoint have even looked towards B. Not even pushing it, just even looking around for it.
Just trying to smell it almost and being punished at that point. Crucial. Molotov down towards the A site. Marcos is here with his AWP, but Narwhal, he'll get the first kill. 4 on 5 for Endpoint. They need to recover the bomb. That's the issue. More nades dropped, tagging Thomas low. 42, but he still wants to push through that smoke. Crucial can see the bomb now, but it's still not being picked up. Is this the triple boost, or just the single boost perhaps on the A site, to leave Nora with the headshot angle to neuter the effectiveness of the smokes?
I'd be amazed if Endpoint are fully prepared for this. The smokes are there, so the smokes can't do much. The AWP are dead, in fact. An awkward spray, but Thomas still comes off better, and that needed to be a kill if Surreal and Endpoint wanted to come off better in this round. Marco gets one back. Now a Molotov through so many smokes. It's so awkward for Endpoint to even get anything done, but there could be a lineup. Robin now looked for that second kill towards ramp. They're now hiding. Speed. Get trapped in. And for AVEZ do step up their game.
The fall by this time working out for the Polish side. Endpoint, if they wanted to get a buy together, it would just be Max who was limited. He has to drop down onto the Mac 10. But they do go for the contention here in round 10. Kai himself has had to drop down onto an MP9. His bank not looking too smart either. But either way, both economies facing some strain with a loss in this upcoming round. You can tell Max, he wants to go aggressive towards the ramp again, but there are going to be SMGs waiting in the wings. Crucial's all. There aren't many gaps. There is a very little one, but that nade's tagged him down immensely. These AVEZ HGs on the A ramp are doing absolute work.
Crucial's just looking for that gap in the smoke to really utilise. Kai pushing, and he gets 2 kills for his troubles. A great advantage, but Endpoint still look to really explode out onto the B bomb site. Smoke not going to do too much as Kyler already has the angle, but Thomas, in fact, comes off better. From Endpoint losing 2 players to now getting an opening over towards B. They could have a chance to swing this round back into their favor. And that kill is huge because it means from window there is little impact. There is an equalizer, 3-3. And that kill just does so much more work to help Endpoint now have an advantage.
Oh, what is that? Kai flies over Surreal's head and takes him down. Bialy with the AK now trying the clutch, but Robin keeps control of things in the end situation. AVEZ, one of the crazier retake attempts you've ever seen in your entire life, but unfortunately not working out for them in that instance. Endpoint, they do go up to 7 after losing both opening players as well. That's a very impressive recovery from them. AVEZ, they've still managed the full buy in this round. Marcos on the AWP. And our partners over at Hellcase, they're offering you an opportunity never to get bored. Use those promo codes to save more and grab what you deserve.
Oh, pressure for Nora. He's so low already, 43 HP, and that was mainly down to a Molotov and a Mac 10 early on. Positive advantage from Max. What? Oh, no.
God, that is horrible.
Oh. Nora comes off winners in that. What? I don't know what that was.
That was an SpaghettiOs moment. Confirmed. 5-on-4 advantage for the CTs off of the back of that one. 3 players again for AVEZ, stacking towards the A bomb site. Endpoint with a minute on the clock. Just have to figure out a way in. How many smokes are available on the side? They have 2. They can drop them to try and get that safe plant, but Bialy's already going for the flank. Thankfully, Kai now found by a grenade. That could be room for Endpoint to make his way in as Marcos is forced away by the Molotov. The utility creating excellent room for Endpoint to find a way in, and now after they plant, will they be able to defend it?
It's worth noting, Endpoint, they've looked so good when they've had the utility, and they've got several kills from it. Crucial, a great trade kill, but Norot gives AVEZ a much-needed advantage, which gets cut down so quickly, and the UMP just has to go for a long-range encounter. Surreal, of course he's going to win it, and Orb now has to find to a lineup. Could have been given to him. Instead, Marcos loses the Crucial. The Orb, that battle won by Endpoint. They've won the half, they've got 8. Now AVEZ, their money isn't going to allow them to get an AWP out or even get a full buy together.
Endpoint starting to take over the first half of Vertigo now. Their T side, which looked weak just a few days ago, is much improved against AVEZ. That much has to be said. Their ability to refrag, their ability to come back from disadvantageous positions, working out for them and performing under pressure. Just the pistols from AVEZ in this, but Crucial, he's missed that shot, and realistically, Kai's gotten a second Deagle kill. Crucial has been hit and miss in this series for sure.
Well, AVEZ might be able to steal something back here if they maybe check out Surreal, but the AK comes off better. Won't regain that minor advantage, but no matter what happens, AVEZ, they should be happy with the damage they've at least achieved. But yeah, P250 now running in, trying to get at least some damage done. And if you're Marco at this point, you just want 1 or 2 kills to go your way. You want something to be given towards you. Right, smoke, no all of them. Limited visibility for the CTs. I think you should scratch this one off, but Marco actually got 1 through the smoke, so this might not be impossible for the Poles.
The RNG gods blessing AVEZ. Marcos gets a second with his P250. That one was much less lucky. 3 P250 kills and AVEZ win that round. What on earth is going on? No body armor at all. And Marcos single-handedly saves it for AVEZ.
I'm amazed some of the sprays just didn't connect onto those CT players. It felt like they should have done, but what a round for AVEZ to come off better in. That's their money back in their favor, and that's Endpoint's money more or less disappearing. They look to pistols. Tech 9's heavy set of them now come out. And that hurts if you're Endpoint.
Oh, absolutely. That loss is the difference between a dominant half and one that could be brought back up to a 7-8 scoreline by AVEZ now. Absolutely possible. All based on that mistake against those pistols. Overconfident, going for the sprays, not waiting for the right times. And Kyler, he's the first to deal damage in this round for AVEZ. Opening kill found. So retaking the B site that Endpoint have to defend. The pistols alive to do it, and Mighty Max on the long flank from the A-bomb site.
Oh, Endpoint just now need timing to really work out in their favor. They need to find a couple more kills to maybe hold on to this. And it's AVEZ certainly under the pressure, but look from behind. Max, he says he might be the one to now make the impact, but the pistols aren't doing enough. Max gets two big ones, a third. Oh, it could have been there. Robin, I don't want to put this past him because the Deagle could do so much more work. One kill and two.
That's it.
And that was the diffuser.
How has it been done? Pistols, they win 2 rounds in a row, but for either side, Endpoint, that flank from Mighty Max, really the saviour. The last Deagle kill just had to come through on the diffuser, and you saw the time taken for the lineup. Absolutely perfect. No pressure, no sweat. Hit the shot, win the round, secure the advantage.
9-4 up, Endpoint. They are loving this, AVEZ. At what point do they start to feel the pressure, do you think? Because on a map they shouldn't be too bad at, or a map they're more than happy to play. They'll have to look really towards 6 at this point if they want to try and make that second half a bit more bearable. But Endpoint so far don't really have issues in this round. I think you're already converted. And the A site looks to be there. Endpoint.
Ooh, Nora gets caught off guard, repositioning an Endpoint straight into the A site now. All but cleaned up here. Double digits, all but confirmed. The Arley's Deagle, all that could stop it. It can't stop the plant, and now it can't stop the round either. AVEZ, they had the chance to make it a balanced half, but that pistol play from Endpoint just managed to win out, managed to claw them the half back in that advantage, and now up against what will be the final buy of this half. Endpoint have the chance to end it 11-4, and AVEZ, regardless of how this round works out, the pistol is going to be vital for them.
Well, we're now getting a bit more towards that Dust 2 territory, where Endpoint were a bit more convincing and a little more cleaner in some respects in some of their plays. And AVEZ, you come into this again mentally, right, you can get 10-5, yes, that could be good, but like you said, if they don't find pistol, that could be the series all but done. It feels like they've had a slow and lacking CT side. For now, Endpoint look for this mid control. 3 players in middle. Endpoint might have been the B side, but Marcos, he does step up. Kyler, another. They get trade kills, they get an advantage, and now they've got a chance to hold off what could be a 5th round.
Surreal in the B-bomb site. He knows where Kyler is, but does he expect Viali to aggress the left? He peeks at the right time, but can't convert the second kill. Mighty Max alone, going for the plan. He knows that's pointless. It's the last round of the half. He can't convert any kills either. AVEZ, they will put 5 on the board, but the 10-5 scoreline was exactly how Dust 2 ended at the first half, and that map ended 16-5 in total.
Well, let's see if Endpoint can now get 6 in a row, or if AVEZ now have a say in what is our deciding map pick. Remember, this is the outcome. This could work out whether we see Endpoint in tomorrow's semi-final or AVEZ taking on 4s in the second match. And also, a win here is going to be the difference between winning no money or at least a small chunk of the prize pool.
The pistol for AVEZ, vital to attempt the comeback. For Endpoint, the beginning of the end of the series. Surreal, on the close range, could get caught off guard by the Glocks if he's not a little bit careful. Surreal, he's eventually found by Kai. Crucial gets one back, but Kyler replies immediately. Robin peeking the right-hand side, spots a player, but he's now defended behind the pillar. It's a 3-on-4 retake with a man in mid, ready to pounce at any moment. Mighty Max will get one back onto Kyler, brings it in the 3-on-3. It's chaotic in towards the B-bomb site. Nades going down and finding minor damage. Thomas gets kills, Robin gets kills, and Kai, he can reply, but not enough. Thomas will do the work, and Endpoint will get 11.
Robin has a kit, but that's not even required at this point here. That's the start the UK team wanted, and AVEZ, do they force this out? Bomb plant will certainly help them towards it, and Endpoint, And M4 could instantly come out, or one or two of them at least. The odds from our partner at Lootbet.
Quite accurate
surprised.
at this point, I'd suggest.
Yeah.
Certainly agreeing with those. AVEZ. They've gone for the hero force. I like this call. 3 players by armor, and they're dropped AKs. And that makes this nearly a full buy to contend with. As long as you don't lose the rifles early, they can out-firepower the SMGs for sure. Outrange them, out-damage. But the issue is it's just 3 for AVEZ that are standing up. Norad and Marcos, no body armor. Aim punch significant, but it's B that AVEZ want to attack again.
Well, they got a bomb plant on it last time, so they might as well try for it again. But the Molotov, combined with that early damage, could really be Kai's early death. And it is Robin who opens things up. AVEZ just try and go for these narrow passage of attacks. They don't do it too strongly. Thomas, in fact, combined with Robin again, just make it look easy. And they only convert 1 kill in the end from AVEZ's perspective. That makes the force buys really useless, and no bomb plant means they have to now eco Endpoint, possibly looking towards 13-5, and the gun realm gets converted after that. That could be 14-5, and then Endpoint marching on to the next stage. AVEZ, what? They've got too much work to do. They've got so much work to do.
Up against an incredibly sheer uphill battle. 5 Deagles and no armor in this round again. You've just got to expect it to go Endpoint's way. Bialy removes Robin in mid at the very minimum, but with no body armor, you have to be pixel perfect on the Deagles, and how long can you keep that up for in a round, realistically speaking? The players from AVEZ, they begin to fall in the B-bomb side. Aggression continued from Surreal, works out again and again, and Bialy, alone with the bomb on his back, hunting in towards this B-bomb site. Looks to be cleaned up by Surreal as well. Triple kill and 13 rounds now for Endpoint as AVEZ look for this T-side full buy, and it's the only thing that can bail them out of this downward spiral.
Well, here's a pause. Now a perfect time for AVEZ to just make sure they know what they're doing in this following round, because this is the deciding one. This is going to work out whether we see AVEZ or Endpoint with the economy moving forward, and with it potential momentum towards final rounds and winning outcome. Weird to think one of the players on this lobby have won a major. They're currently on the losing end of things. Bialy's certainly going to be feeling the pressure at this point. The newest player in the lineup joined around 2 months ago at this point. AVEZ maybe still trying to fit in experienced veteran.
Well, he certainly had his individual moments in the series. It hasn't looked like he's not been able to keep up with the side. In fact, he's top fragging here on Vertigo. But it's still going wrong for AVEZ. The pause going to remain in place, likely to be some sort of technical issue at this point in time. And Endpoint, they have a lot of time to think about how they're going to approach this. They're going to keep Max on that UMP. Crucial, unlikely to upgrade from the FAMAS either. Up against that AVEZ full buy, it's going to be, if they want AWPs, there can be no armor whatsoever. I just don't think they'll be able to commit to that in the end. I think AVEZ just have to go for the AK buys in the next, and under just so much pressure, individuals are going to have to turn up and save this round for them, you have to think.
Their only advantage is the idea that Max and Crucial have stuck down to their second round weapons. They've not got full-on M4s in this lineup. It's not the perfect buy that Endpoint were looking for, but they're treating it as a bonus. They're not going to upgrade until they feel they need the AWP and the added M4. They can go for it. They want to just build up this bank. Can't say I agree with the decision, but it's the one they look to go for. AVEZ now. Next few rounds have to be perfect. You have to reset Endpoint's economy. You've got to reset their mental edge. You've got to now get some control. I assume they're going to start off defaulting and just learning how Endpoint approach these gun rounds.
There needs to be some creativity for me. I don't think AVEZ can afford to just default. Endpoint have the edge on that CT side.
I agree. They've got to go for some proper inspirational execution ASAP. They don't get something fast. If they don't get an opening kill, that could be crucial. That could be so vital to just how this matchup plays out.
It's just so risky for AVEZ because they have been playing it relatively slowly in the last couple of rounds. Well, I say relatively slowly in that exact regard. It's not been perfect passive play, but it's not been all-out rushing. And you have the option here to come out at pace, to charge in, to try and smash and grab your way into a bomb site. And that could work. That could leave the shock and awe factor, but you also could get caught up in a meat grinder of a crossfire, and this map could be over before your comeback attempt has even begun. AVEZ really unsure as to what they call here. Fast, slow. It looks like they want to commit towards the A ramp early on. Bialy just holding for mid-aggression.
Up close. Well, gets greeted by the sound cues of an AK spray down. Won't be any fast commitment yet, nor rocked. I'll wait for the time as Bialy in mid just gets dinked and somewhat tagged up in the initial stages. UMP up close. This is where Max has to be careful. Your UMP against potentially 3 AKs. Thomas, he's got to be the man to step up. He had a field day yesterday on Vertigo, and again, he might look to do the same job here.
This angle pretty much a one and done if they can figure out you're here. Thomas. They're all walking up. They're all thinking about pushing. They found Mighty Max now as well, and he's gone down in the sight. AVEZ with the early ramp control. Rotations coming through from Robin and Surreal. Crucial already here with that FAMAS. Which way does he look? That's the question he knows he has to answer. Utility, counter-utility, it's all being deployed, but Kai's found Surreal. That's not the ideal start for Endpoint. Robin jumping up, looking for damage, but on 1 HP, he has to back away, and Crucial still lurking around here, still trying to think about this one, but he should back off as well with the AK. There's not perfect money on that CT side. Just refocus your efforts and try and win up in the next.
That was a concern for Endpoint, just the weaker weapons. They went for the bonus, it hasn't gambled out. AVEZ can look towards 6. Still a long way back for the Polish squad, but can't say it's impossible. They're not hunting either, they don't quite trust going for it. 1 HP and 39 HP. That's what the 2 Endpoint players end up with.
If AVEZ want a way back into this map, it's baby steps. Small advantage after small advantage converted into round after round and build that platform. You've got to streak rounds together to flush your economy, and you've got to break that Endpoint economy too, because they've still got a full buyout up in this round, and there's going to be an AWP peeking ramp perhaps instead of Mighty Max's rifle. Instead, decide not to go for it so aggressively. Surreal, he's got a really aggressive position. He's made his way down quietly to the stairs. He has to be so cautious that he doesn't get ripped out without finding a kill here, though.
AVEZ just wait for the time to really piece this together. 2 of them here. While the flash doesn't do too much good, Surreal just needs the timing on it. He expects them to come to the left. He expects them not to go up the stairs. And there it is. There's the kill. Kyler comes off worse. And Bialy almost fell to his death. Also, he's on 4 HP. Nade could end his life, but Kai steps up. And there's your kill. And there's your opening either towards A or towards B.
Mighty Max tries to extend the advantage on A, but the flames obscure his vision. And the advantage earned by Surreal is thrown away on the A-bomb site. Thomas. Still here. With his AK. Still dangerous. AVEZ taking their time. Sending Bialy up on his own to fake out the B-bomb site. And he's found Crucial on just 4 HP. But Thomas knows that this is still an A play from AVEZ. Robin spraying through the smoke, but cognizant of this Bialy. Oh, there's Thomas, but he's only able to get one Kai. The recovery is great. Robin struggling through the smoke. 1 on 3 to try and find. He's found Kai. Norut's down now as well, and Bialy on just 4 HP. Robin, he's sticking the bomb. Bialy, does he expect this? He swings round at the right time, and he finds the planter. Robin, the wrong call, as no one on his team told him how low Bialy is. Endpoint with a chance there for 14, but Bialy, what excellent play from him there on low HP, finding both Crucial and Robin in the late round.
There's his experience, there's his skill level, just shown and demonstrated in that one individual round. That was so close for Endpoint, but they now have to drop down to the pistols, and AVEZ now a chance to look towards 8 and build up their economy and momentum going forward. Default, a lot of momentum wanted towards mid and A. AK Spray does some damage towards Max, but nothing too significant. Too risky to beat that. Marcos comes off a winner.
The pistols of Endpoint falling all around this map now, as they struggle to get anything done in this round. It looks like 8 for AVEZ, all but confirmed at this point. Surreal's P250. They're trying to set up a mid crossfire with Thomas's CZ, but nobody's going to walk into that. It's the A-bomb site for AVEZ, completely free again. Endpoint, they've just got to look to contesting the gun round in the next tier. If they can get any weapons saved, brilliant, but it's very unlikely they win this round.
Much to do. As much as I'd love to say these pistols can win it, it's a bit of a struggle. Real for now, just quite spotted on triple box. There's the peak. Kai finds the conversion. Ollie with the bomb plant, and for AVEZ, now to hunt for this lasting pistol. Hiding in elevator room. Well, short gives up the angle. A nice idea, but nothing really converted. 5 kept alive. The poles now up to 8. All of a sudden we see Endpoint struggling on the CT end of things. A complete turnaround to that game yesterday.
The gap closing. Utility limited in the economy for Endpoint. In a dire spot. 5 rounds now allied between AVEZ and Endpoint. And with a round victory here for AVEZ, they could reduce that gap even further by 2 or 3 rounds. That's when Endpoint really start to sweat. Mighty Max, virtually every round has gone aggressive towards ramp, and in the vast majority has been punished. Crucial missing the opening shot. Thankfully, he doesn't get punished. He can back away to a more passive angle, but again, these are the factors that are costing Endpoint rounds. Crucial, it was in the last round who couldn't find the shot onto Bialy either, and that left him alive in the clutch situation.
Alright, doesn't quite get affected by the nade. Can't help but think an opening kill here for Endpoint might just give him an advantage. Same for AVEZ. You're just a much stronger angle. AVEZ might have a bit more confidence also to push up and gain a bit more map control. AK expected the FAMAS, but couldn't quite convert it. Went for the double peek, or attempted maybe a triple peek. Therefore needs to stand strong. It's good for 1, but Mighty Max just cleans up what his teammate couldn't do. Now an advantage for Endpoint. Quickly cut short. Robin. Oh, he falls to Kai also.
AK entries on the A-bomb site. Absolutely beautiful for AVEZ. Crucial on the AWP. Can't land any shots at all. Marcos has taken him out. And Surreal on the flank, finds the first 2 players to face, and Kyler takes him down. 9 against 13 now for AVEZ. Endpoint, they can't justify buying up in this round either. The comeback is well and truly on, and if you're... In our perspective at this point, I'm starting to wonder if Endpoint are choking this a bit.
It feels like AVEZ have certainly woken up on the T side. They've got a lot more hope and a bit more ideas to work with compared to what was a rough CT end of things. Gonna start off with AVEZ on the weapons and full buyout. Alright. The first one of contact in mid as Max just tried for some early damage and early information. Yarley, 1 or 2 players looking towards mid for AVEZ. Balls back off. Oh, the UK side come off safely and for now don't quite lose any players despite the initial damage.
Robin gets the first kill with the 5-7 in this round. That's going to be a weapon recoverable, and he hasn't lost any HP, and he has body armor. Great value. Crucial on the Deagle. Only needs 1 to keep the advantage in his team's favor, even if he dies. He's still expecting players to push close. Kyler will eventually aggress this angle. A bit further left than he was expecting. He just goes for the wallbang pre-fire. Kyler looking for more onto Mighty Max, even, who's stuck in the side. Kai removes him, and Kai continues to clean up. It was a great start from Endpoint. Thomas has found another kill with the AK, but it doesn't look like there's anything more available whatsoever. Surreal picks up that rifle and starts to walk away. It's double digits for AVEZ and a 3-round gap heading into the full buy from Endpoint in the next round.
Oh, Surreal, does he look to keep the AK or does he just look for some exit damage? To be the former. Holding. Need to fully commit towards this with no utility, no kit. Nothing to really give him hope of versing this one then. Back he goes. AVEZ came into this ranked 63rd in the world rankings. Endpoint in comparison, top 35.
Endpoint.
Go on.
Desperate to break into the top 30 as well. They really want wins in tournaments like these, not just for the cash, but to push them up the rankings. They've been desperate for a top 30 place for a very, very long time now at this point, and well, they go for the full buy in this round. This is the chance to contest. If they lose this buy, the door is wide open for AVEZ to just stroll in on the comeback. If they lose this buy Endpoint, I would almost guarantee a silent scoreline from AVEZ. Surreal starts off brilliantly, though, to deny that outcome.
And I've seen before, whenever that run boost fails, that then starts to become a bit of a domino effect for when you start to lose players on the T side. Kyler the first to fall. Endpoint finally start off in a positive fashion. Marcos looks to just reposition over towards B. Not done quite yet. Yorpet is alone towards B. The M4 up close. Oh, just loses to Kai. Now on 22 kills to his name. Endpoint, I think you just have to play safe. Don't contest any further. Don't try and fight for something which you've lost too many times recently. 1 minute to work with. Still a good set of utility for the T side to play with.
I don't think being aggressive towards the A ramp has worked for Endpoint a single time in this half, at least in recent memory. But they still continue to commit players to it. The man advantage again that was earned on the B site is thrown away on the A site. And now AVEZ look to exploit that. They might even decide to rotate back towards B after drawing the rotations. That's going to put a Surreal under an immense amount of pressure. He can drop a smoke to buy himself room, but an awful mark up there. He can't convert the shot. It's the whiff. Norat now onto Surreal. That's the advantage for AVEZ. The flash is good, but Robin can at least get 1 kill. More trades needed, but Mighty Max taken down. Crucial on the AWP. Can't even consider this. And after winning the opening kill, Endpoint throw 1 away in the ramp, and it all falls apart after that.
Oh, it feels as though this whole series might start to fall apart if they don't start to wake up and start converting anything. AVEZ started the round off with a player lost. They tried that run boost, it failed, but they've still worked themselves back into this perfectly, if anything. Come from 16-5 down to maybe now starting to slip away from your 13-6 lead. Endpoint, they had a dominant start. They had a great showing in the early stages. Suddenly the Poles look a massive threat to their elimination. Crucial at least converts that one. Shouldn't be time for Norok to make any mistakes.
There's going to be so much going on in the minds of Endpoint right now. They had the opportunity to close it out on Overpass. They lost that one, threw that opportunity away. They had the opportunity with a dominant, and even more dominant scoreline here on Vertigo to close things out convincingly. And in 2-round wins from AVEZ, it would be a tied-up situation. Endpoint perhaps panicking now. They pick up the double-up setup. This is not something you see too often on Vertigo due to all those close-range angles, but they're clearly just desperate for anything at this point. Desperate for a round on the board. Desperate to end this streak from AVEZ.
AVEZ at this point, 6 rounds in a row. It could become 7 in a row if Endpoint fail to convert anything here. They need an advantage. Crucial with the AWP now plays a lot more safer. They've backed off. They're not even looking towards ramp, and now they change up their minds. Shut off the smokes to the back of the side. The only player really going to be in front of the smokes, I believe, is going to be the AWP on Crucial. Max has at least repositioned. Minute to go. AVEZ poised to head towards the side.
Mighty Max trying for the wallbang spam, but he needs to be careful. The AKs could quite easily find him back through that wall.
Hopeful.
Crucial. His AWP. Oh, I can't land the shot again. It's another miss from the CT AWPer. Kai, he's advanced through the smokes, but Crucial has now opened up onto his teammate Kyler. Kai getting tagged down in these smokes. Bialy's found Thomas. 4-on-4 situation as spam continuing to come through. A nade doing damage. That removes Kai from the round completely. It's the 3-on-4, but low HP on the 2 pistols, and a double AWP on the retake as well. It's going to be so difficult with the angles that AVEZ have garnered, especially Norat. Marcos takes down Crucial on 1 AWP. Time ticking down on the bomb now. Endpoint still looking for a way in. No utility to work with other than one flashbang. AWP shot does not convert the kill. Marcos getting it all done, and Surreal just has to bail out. They can't retake the bomb site. Endpoint 1 away from having the tied scoreline against them.
He wanted to commit towards this kill on Bialy. The CT player needs to escape. It's at least a kill back from his point of view, but 13-12. AVEZ now 1 round between them and potentially tying up this series. And look at Endpoint's money. It at least has recovered, but, you know, a loss here. Not only is that going to be mentally draining, but that's going to hurt you and your side.
Where's the timeout? That's my question.
They haven't timed out, have they?
No. Well, why have they not called a timeout? They're clearly too wrapped up in their own heads at the moment. Somebody needs to get in that Endpoint prac room and perform the Heimlich maneuver, because they are seriously choking this map away. 1 away to the tied scoreline. And it's just been disaster after disaster in this CT side.
There must have been something said on that AVEZ side which has somehow just given them hope. They've taken the baby steps. They can read the scoreline. They can see that they've now got a chance in this. Seven in a row, more or less. That's how AVEZ have now found this almost tied scoreline. Endpoint started this half off with 3 rounds converted. Look how slow AVEZ now want to approach this. They know this is the key one. This could again kill off some of Endpoint's economy. If you find an opening kill now, you could be insane. Surreal, he's got to just expect the close angle. In fact, backs away at the right time. The AWP now has to step up.
Crucial's been so hit or miss, and he can't afford to fail now. Has to drop a smoke to cover himself through the Molotov. He's completely blind, but Surreal has bailed him out temporarily. Crucial looking for more opportunities. The smoke's deep. There are still gaps, but he can't land the shots. Bialy, that's insane. Headshots him through the smoke. Nora making his way into the site. Robin finds a dink. HE being deployed. How much damage will it do? That's the kill confirmed by Robin. Now onto Kai. 2-on-3. Mighty Max gets one. Bialy goes for the plant, but Thomas bails them out. Endpoint. It seems like they wait until the last possible moments in these matches, and then they win the must-win round.
Well, 2 to win it. And their money just about is there to make sure they've all got weapons. All on rifles. Robin's got an AK. Crucial back on the AWP. And again, they've got to be careful about how they approach, because one mistake again could draw AVEZ back into that positive mindset. Endpoint at this point, no, they can't be making any more mistakes, any massive ones specifically. Now the advantage gives these AVEZ a bit of a one-way through their own smoke towards the right side of scaffolding. Not too bad.
Very nice. Marcos, below 50 HP. Bialy and Kai, now one-shot headshots from an M4. That nade certainly did its job. But AVEZ, with 5 alive, they're just walking up into the A-bomb site. Absent utility, completely dry. Crucial misses a shot again. Thomas now has to bail the side out. He gets 2 big kills with the M4. Bialy replies with 1, but it's a 3-on-4 entrance for AVEZ to attempt here. They're smoked out. Molotov's down in the site, but they have time to work with. That's the crucial factor. Flashes keep Bialy blind, but in the smoke, he looks to deploy his own and buy room for the bomb plant.
Oh, that's bad. The Molotov's not even gonna connect onto anything, and that's even before AVEZ even look onto the site. This kill gonna be huge, and how does Max come off bet against Bialy? Kyler gets at least a trade kill. It's for now an Endpoint minor advantage in player numbers. The bomb I didn't realize was actually dropped on the site, so they have to recover that first. They've got to get it, and Crucial, what a massive time to step up with the AWP. Now it's Kyler, now left to find 2 of them, 1 in CT, and on triple boxes, Surreal just pops out. Endpoint, it's taken too long, but they at least now have 15 and series point with it.
Well, we talked about Endpoint leaving the door open for AVEZ. They turn around at the very last minute, and now they're going to kick that door shut. 3 in a row necessary for AVEZ. I still can't believe Endpoint didn't call a timeout in that entire half, throughout that entire losing streak. But somehow they managed to recover. It's always the must-win situation, it feels. It's always when their opponents are about to tie up the scoreline that Endpoint then go big. Then they turn up and prove why they were the favourites in this series to begin with. They have 3 chances to close it out now, but they've invested into the double AWP setup in this round. If they lose this, that could be horrible for their economy.
Watch out, overtime could be on the cards if we're not careful. Crucial for now. Looks to hold up close, and AK could be the first point of contact. Well, 2 of them look to double peak, and an AWP victory is 1. That is Crucial's advantage. 2 kills converted, and there's your early lead, at least in terms of player numbers.
It takes a while, but Crucial finally turning up in a big way for Endpoint. Thomas on the boost has found Marcos, and 2 players for AVEZ now. The only ones who can stave off elimination. The comeback effort almost went the distance, but at the last moment, before the score was tied, Endpoint have put a stop to any hope from these Polish players. What can they do? Nora, he's been great in the series so far. AK-47 to hand, but time ticking down. They're still trying to find a way into A, and there goes the AK. 14 HP. Now stand between Endpoint and the semi-finals. Crucial will do it with the final kill, and after a drawn-out 3-map affair, Endpoint take us to the semi-finals.